Seems like so far you guys have done a good job of avoiding serious injuries and new injuries unless something happened yesterday. But how happy have you been with the way your strength and conditioning people have gotten these guys ready and preventive type stuff and recovery and things like that?
Yeah, Frank and his group have done a really nice job. Obviously, they have more than we do. We have 15 practices in the spring, and they've had them the whole rest of the time. So, part of having a good camp is making sure everybody's available to it. If not, then you have to make adjustments with the training schedule. And can we do these drills, not these drills, where we don't have enough players at this position. So they've done a really nice job, and our players have done a really nice job of learning, how to do recovery in the right manner. And you can see that from how we're performing right now in training. So.
I think you had said Frank didn't have any soft tissue issues, injuries when he was at Virginia. Have you seen that kind of carry over?
Yeah, you have a couple, but nothing major. You had a tweak or something here, but nothing that's going to keep you out long term. Part of that is still learning the individual's bodies. Are there any imbalances? Can they take care of those imbalances and put them to a point where if they're not susceptible or something? And they've done a really nice job of identifying that and trying to do prehab so that they're turning in front of it. So be proactive in the situation.
How have the quarterbacks looked though since we last talked to you?
They're doing a nice job. We're getting a lot of reps in our training sessions. So they're and I think for all of them, it's a position of experience. So you can talk all you want, be in the meeting room and talk to the board, and then they're really good there. But can they transfer it to when we get into 7-on-7 periods and 11-on-11 periods? And then a lot of it's learning by doing. You have to do it. So you hope that the kid doesn't make the same mistake over and over again. Did he learn from it? He got this look the day before, didn't recognize it, didn't get it. The next day he got the same look, but then recognized it, put the ball where it was supposed to be. So they're progressing.
I know you said that you wanted to decide on a quarterback yesterday, but do you need to have somebody in place by a certain number of days before the opener just to get that person ready?
We don't have a set number of days or anything. It's always everywhere, but it's happened organically, and who kind of keeps rising to the top. And those guys, it's a meritocracy. Whoever merits playing time or reps and training will continue to garner that. So.
What about the search for a center right now? Is that
same thing, same process? One part of our training philosophy is we get a lot of reps in the training, so everybody gets. I don't think there's anybody out there that's going to say, "Geez, I'm not getting enough snaps." They're all getting a ton of snaps. We're getting it on tape, and we're teaching on the tape. So. We're pleased with everybody's progress from that side.
How's the running back competition coming along? I know there's never really a true starter, there's a lot of rotation, but how are those guys doing?
All those guys, again, the young guys are fitting in well with the older players. The older players are doing a good job of helping the younger players assimilate to the position. So I've been pleased with what I've seen from the running back so far.
And Bolu's progress, do you like the way he's come along?
He's done a nice job.
Yeah, at Oregon, obviously, you got a lot of success. One thing that you also had was a lot of penalties. Did you kind of prove that penalties really aren't that important to us?
We didn't have as much. We were lower in the Pac-12 than most people. The league is the most penalized league. At least when I was there, they led the country. The Pac-12 was the most penalized league in the country, but we weren't at the top of that. So I don't think unless you have better stats than I do.
I didn't look at the Pac-12 as nationally.
Yeah, just everybody in the Pac-12 was in the top nationally, so it's a league thing. So. Look at us within the league. So.
Is that something that you emphasize a lot here?
We always emphasize it. Anytime you have a negative yardage play, whether it be by a mistake because you made a mental issue or you have a penalty, then those aren't successful for you. So I've never been a guy that penalties aren't important. Penalties are extremely important.
Chip, you had a pretty mad dash of an off-season in terms of kind of assembling a coaching staff and putting together a recruiting class. Have you been able to put together the program precisely that you want for strength and conditioning and sports science, or do you feel like that takes more than one off-season to hire now?
Part of the hiring Frank and keeping Sam Kowarski here as our nutritionist was part of that whole thing, so I feel very comfortable where those guys are right now.
Does your tempo necessitate playing guys in waves regardless of game situation and score, you feel?
I don't understand, Christian.
Well,
meaning my tempo.
Playing at such a fast pace, shuffling guys in and out.
I guess probably maybe the misconception is you're concerned with what we did 5 years ago, so that doesn't mean that that's exactly what we're going to do now. So we're just trying to get better and evaluate our players. So we've had no conversations about who's playing where, what's our rotation, or any of that stuff. So we're still just trying to evaluate who our top guys are at each position, and then we'll start to formulate who's going to play what amount and what percentage.
Jerry Azanaro on your staff at many places now. What do you value about his coaching style?
I think he's an outstanding teacher. You know, he's got a great knowledge of defensive football, but I think first and foremost, he's as good a teacher as I've been around. Can really articulate his points, and his players learn. You know, sometimes some guys are great from a clinic standpoint. It sounds good, but then when you see it on the field, it doesn't exactly look the way that they said it was going to look. With Jerry, it does, and he's done a really nice job teaching every time I go with him.
Would you say with Coach Azanaro, one of the best parts about it is his energy? It seems like he's very vocal in the practice.
Yeah, well, I think everybody on our staff has energy. There's not many football coaches that I've ever met that don't have energy. I mean, that's part of just what you do and why you're associated with the sport. So I would think I'd like to meet the first low energy football coach. I don't think I have. So if he's out there, I'd like to meet him and find out how he does it.